So, ma'am, you have launched your book today, The Baby Steps to Big Dreams. So, first of all, what is your motivation behind writing this book?
Right. In the recent times, we've had lethal deaths of children. We've had children dying for the lack of marks. We have children dying for very dangerous games on the internet. Somewhere there is a lack of the ability for adults, both educators and parents, to talk and build certain emotional resilience in children. And therefore this book. Because this book talks about conversation being the most ancient science, and you can converse with the child right from its conception while it's in the womb. So this book talks about every developmental stage of the child. So at the womb, which is the fetal stage, to infancy, to toddler, to foundation years, to preschool years, to primary school years, to teens, to pre-teens, to tough talk. So every stage, what kind of conversations one should have, the book covers.
Okay, ma'am, as a journalist, I know the writing a book is not an easy task. You need the idea, you need the entire script, the preparation, research, articulation, presentation. So you have to look thousands times critically on your own words, will it work or not.
Right.
So tell me about how it's journey. While the starting point when you think I should write a book on this topic, and to this day, finally you launched the book. So can you brief about the journey, the challenges you have faced during?
Thank you so much for asking this question. So last year, my biography was written by somebody else, and I had a little window. During COVID, the author, Anurita, would send me a lot of questions and I would write. So that's the only, if I may, experience I had towards book writing. And if I have to say this, then our publisher, Renuji, literally said that, since I was doing digital programs for parents and talking about how communication is important, she said, your book is half ready, why don't you do it? And I almost believed her, but good God, it's very hard to write a book. It's very, very hard. So it's about not only just writing, it's about, communication is about getting the point across. It's not about using bombastic language. It's about simplifying your concept such that everybody understands. So to write in a very conversational manner, because we are dealing with very hard topics, very difficult topics such as drugs, such as teenage intimacy, such as sexting, such as abuse. So we are dealing with a very, very hard topics. It was important that we write it simply. So that was one challenge. You've already said the iterations jo hoti hai na, my God, I don't know how many times we've read the book and reread the book and improved the sentence construct and put it differently and looked at American spellings and British spellings. Arey babre, it's not easy. It was not an easy. And I'm a full-time professional. We have an organization to run. I have a lot of responsibilities. So to do both, my good God. But if I'm able to reach this to a lot of parents and we can save some children, I'll be very, very grateful for that.
Okay, congratulations for the book. One more question, ma'am. Today the world is becoming digital. Everything, like people loving to listen podcasts, to watch YouTube videos, TED Talks, interviews, and the habit of reading on hard copy is, I think, decreasing with time, and still you have the motivation to write the book, not only write, to publish in a hard copy. So what do you think, what is the future of reading?
Right. So thank you for asking that, right? I myself am a digital reader. So I run a whole school called Shroffism School, where I actually teach digitally. I'm a podcaster, I'm a vlogger, I have videos, I have podcasts, I do everything on the digital medium. But when I was doing this book, there is nothing that can be a constant companion. I'm talking about this being a constant companion to a parent for 15 years. No digital platform can stay with you as strongly as a book can stay in your shelf for 15 years. I am hoping that parents will take one milestone after the other, refer to the right milestone and guide the children. So if you had to write a book that had relevance for 15 years, it has to be hardbound. So that was the motivation.
So writer must have patience, a big patience. Otherwise, it will not possible.
Right.
Ma'am, what are the most, if I want to ask few more things about book, so can you please enlist the most three important things that this book will teach to the writer, primarily three important things.
So first, this book is very data driven. We as an organization have been into this field of education for 28 years. We have a lot of data because a lot of students have walked our corridors, like 65,000 odd students. It is based on real life experiences where the names are changed for privacy. So the number one is it's not theoretical at all. It's very practical. So there are practice sessions, there are activities, there are questions to guide you. So it is a guide. That's the first fundamental thing. The second one is it's very, very age specific. So of course not everybody, all children will follow the same curve. Some will be ahead and some will be below, but largely all children will fall in the curve. So if you pick up the book and say my child is a preschooler, what should I do? You'll get your solution. So it's very, very menu-based approach. So I think that's the second thing that the book has going for itself. The third thing, I think, is the timing. We are at an AI age. You just saw that we played an AI avatar and a clone. AI is going to take over almost all iterative tasks, including education. It is this time that we need to distinguish between what we can do for acquired intelligence, जो AI हमसे बेहतर करेगा, and innate human intelligence, जो parenting करेगा. So I think the timing is just perfect.
Okay, ma'am, you are not only an author but a teacher, a guide, a mentor, a career coach, a life mentor. So, ma'am, if we look at Indian education system, or especially Indian school education system, so in your opinion, in what things we are lacking, and that's need to be resolved as soon as possible?
So first I have to say this, that our ancestors had figured it all out. It was role modeling. It was not rote learning. It was practical. It was not theoretical. But a lot of these concepts are just really coming back, right? Recently there's a talk about board exam being twice, which is anything when it comes new, people are concerned about it. But think about it, semester is easier than annual. So I think that the country has gone through a lot of reforms in the positive direction. If there is a gap, it is the implementation gap. If we do NCF, if we do NEP, and we do all of the recent reforms, I think education will, we've always been leaders, right? I mean, if you see the CEO list of the world, they're all Indians. हमने कहाँ गड़बड़ की है? Everybody is looking for Indians to run their organizations, right? So we are still the very superior intellectual race of the world. We just need to tweak a little bit here and there. Nothing is grossly wrong. The proof of the pudding is eating it. And all organizations of the world have Indians to lead it. So, उससे ज़्यादा proof क्या चाहिए?
उससे ज़्यादा proof नहीं चाहिए, exactly. So, the last question for today, ma'am, if someone want to become a writer or author, so what are your suggestions to become a good author?
First, I'll say write. Start writing. You know, write some 500, 700,000 words a day. Just start writing. Go online, start blogging. You know, there are a lot of sites where you can write one chapter and you'll get feedback. Right? See, I am not the run-of-the-mill writer. I am a, if I may say that, I come with professional knowledge. I come with a subject that is actually professional, actually psychological, actually developmental. So it's not just a creative book, it's a very useful book. But for creative writers, go out there on the internet, get feedback, but I think keep writing. And there are many methods today. It's far easier to write today than before.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. It was a wonderful conversation, such insightful thoughts we have received from you, and it will be online and we will publish it on the website as well.
Yes, yes. Thanks so much.